Let's talk about meditation today, and whatever else arises out of that, you never know beforehand. Meditation, as you may know, I don't teach meditation as such, not so much as a separate practice. Presence practice, bringing presence into everyday life, is meditation. But there's also something to be said for having a structured practice every day, and it may not be right or absolutely necessary for everybody, but many people will find structured meditation every day helpful. The thing is, I've come across many meditators who are extremely accomplished, have been practicing meditation, structured meditation, for 20 or 30 years. And still they find that no matter what states of consciousness they achieve or enter into in their structured meditation, there's still a huge gap between their everyday life and their state of consciousness while they meditate. In other words, they tend to be almost as unconscious as a non-meditator in everyday life. So there's a gap that can arise in people who practice structured meditation between this is my meditation and then you get on with the rest of your life. Meditation in the morning and the evening, and then they move out of their meditation into the rest of their lives. To exemplify that, there's the example of the meditator, the man who is meditating on metta, a Buddhist meditation called loving kindness, where you spread loving kindness out from you. Goes something like, may I be well and happy. May I be well and happy. May I be well and happy. And as the words are used as pointers so that you emanate peace, you can feel yourself. And then you include the next circle, may everybody in this house be well and happy. May everybody in this city be well and happy. Gradually you expand. May everybody in this state be well and happy. In this country, the entire planet. And so it's quite a beautiful meditation. Anyway, this man then was practicing the metta, loving kindness meditation, and then the door opened and his daughter came running in. And so he opened it. I said, can't you see I'm doing my meditation? Get out of here. Every day you disturb me while I'm doing my... This shows the gap between the practice and living. So if you are a meditator or if you take up meditation, beware of that. And very important, meditation must not be confined to just one time period when you sit down, when you sit in wherever you sit, on the floor, on a chair, or on a cushion, and close your eyes. Meditation needs to seep into everyday life, and this is what we call, of course, this is what we always address here, what the teaching is all about. That's the presence practice. And sometimes I recommend little, what I call mini meditations, and this is really a presence practice that you can do wherever you are and in any situation. So I recommend, for example, every time you get into your car, when you close the door, not to immediately reach for the ignition, but to sit for at least about 30 seconds. Don't do too much, not necessary. 30 seconds, and be present during those 30 seconds. You can choose either to have your attention on sense perceptions, visual, auditory, give it your complete attention, or you can have your attention on the fact that you are breathing, or you can have your attention on the feeling of the inner body as you sit there, the aliveness in the body. 30 seconds. Unless there's an emergency, you need to get to the hospital, your wife is pregnant, then don't do it. Or there's an extreme emergency. Now, many people live their everyday life as if their entire life were an emergency. It's not the case. That's a deep-seated form of conditioning. In other words, they live in continuous stress, and that's really treating everyday life as a continuous emergency. Can you imagine living like that? And don't imagine it, many people do. Living in amazing. So what does that mean? A continuous emergency means there's a continuous, enormously powerful pull that pulls you out of yourself and out of the now into some kind of pursuit of future. That's the emergency, because the emergency means I need to get there. There are some real emergency. As I said, you may have to get to the hospital, or you may have to, whatever it is. But mostly it's not a real emergency, it's a form of conditioning. The entire civilization is conditioned and conditions you in that way. It starts at school, it starts the way people live at home, in their family. There's always stress, always something to do. I don't personally have much experience anymore with visiting families like that, because most people, if I visit people, they're already present, already living in presence. So I don't have that much contact anymore with the normal dysfunctional families. But I know that many of them still exist, the majority. And I sometimes see it in films, when you see very quite realistic films where you see a family interacting. God, they're all insane. Let's do this. Have you done this? Come on, let's do that. What's the next thing we have to do? This continuous stream of things arising in your mind, one mind object after another, content, completely absorbed in the content of your mind. That's ultimately what it is. And so never finding any kind of space in your life. And really that's what meditation is all about, finding that most precious of things, or no things, space. Without space, your life is, as I sometimes quote Winston Churchill when he talked about human history, one damn thing after another. And that's how many people experience their life. Just one, what's the next damn thing I have to do? And then you have a succession of damn things that you haven't done yet. They're just waiting. And they're saying, give me attention, give me attention. And so you're torn. It's a normal way to live these days. And even professions that used to be cushy and comfortable, like being a teacher, have become extremely stressful. And places that potentially could be, and certainly should be, places of healing, like hospitals, many of them are madhouses. And sometimes the only grace that is still there is the nurses and a few doctors who are not completely lost, and they bring some presence into that situation. But very often the entire, everybody else is on the verge of a nervous breakdown continuously. There are even TV soap operas about life in a hospital. It doesn't have to be like that.